All right. Good morning, everybody. Louis Porcelino, manovermarket.com. And this is the ES morning call, and it is Thursday, October 16th. Now, I want to get through a lot of stuff, and I produced a video already this morning, and then I found out it was too long for YouTube. All right. So this is a day chart of the profile, and yesterday, here we went down and made the 1813, and then we rallied up and we settled over here. Now here's that 42 level that we called the rally on. Now I told you yesterday in the update that I was short and I got out of my shorts and I didn't participate in this break. I didn't participate at all. I actually started buying the market down here and with real short stops and kept getting stopped out and then bought it because I was looking for the rally. There was negative delta in the height yesterday of about 120,000 contracts. So I want to get through this video really quick because I got a lot to cover. Now, so you're seeing this area over here. There wasn't a lot of volume, but we went down here. So what we're seeing and experiencing today down here in the 20s, all right, and in the teens is the volume filling in, sort of like what happened up here. All right, we had this move, we went back rally. The next day, we put volume in it. Still way markets move, right? So it found some volume. We've had a 40-point range in the overnight, and we've traded 500,000 contracts overnight. 500,000 contracts overnight. All right. Before this, let's get to the day chart. Let's get to the day chart. All right. So I've been talking about 1803, right? April 1st low, 1803 down here. I'm sorry, right there. And then this is the 78.6 retracement, which is 1790 half, right around there. Okay. Now, are we starting to form a bottom? I mean, this thing could go to 1732 and we still be okay, right? We'd be unchanged in the year, but we still be okay. So we got to start thinking about bottoms and where this is put in. All right. I just think, look, this we all believe, and if you have a brain in your head, that these markets have been artificially inflated because there's no yield. There's no yield because all the world central banks and the Fed are been propping the markets up, and there are no interest rates. So when I heard that there was a 183 to 230 move yesterday in the 10-year bond, you're talking about a guy who started trading when interest rates were 19%, and they would go from 19 to 21, 21 to 17, 17 to 19 in a quarter. So that stuff doesn't affect me. The other thing is I started trading this baby when it was in the hundreds. I wrote 150 on my cards. I remember when the Dow went through 1,000. These are worldwide markets. There's trillions of dollars that are sitting in these markets. So you're going to get on correction days, you're going to get the Dow down 500. I remember the first time it went down 30 points, it was a news story. Now that's not even a blip on the radar screen. So, everything goes, gets bigger with time and inflation and so on. So at the end of the day, now, so you can't get really overly concerned that I'm trying to wrap in market psychology with, you got to look at these things and, don't pay attention to news. News is just noise. The markets are going where they're going because they need to correct. They need corrections and they need to build foundations. Right? Noise just the news that comes out is just basically something that people could give you a reason for why it went there. But in reality, it has to do with supply and demand and where the market's building it. All right. Remember, pay attention to our 5-minute pivot. See how these things move down? All right. I will update it and get it to you. So the 5-minute pivot is sitting at 1838. We've got a low this morning of 1815 and a quarter. We got yesterday a low of 1813. Okay. We just hit S1. All right. And now here's the low, the bottom of value, 1828 and a half. We got our bull bear zone at 1836 and a half. Yesterday's mode means the most volume traded is that price was 1840. All right. And then we've got the top of value up at 1855. And we got a Globex high of 1857 and a quarter. Now, yesterday, I talked about shorting the market between 54 half, 56 half. I shorted it all the way up to 60 even, and this was my stop. All these lows, 63, 63. Now, I'm not when I'm trading now in these volatile market. I cut my size back because I got to realize that there are bigger ranges. The 10-minute range, the 5-minute pivot range right now, I'm sorry, average rotation is 500 points. So that means if let's say the bottom is at 20, it could go in 5 minutes up to 25. And if I sold it there, I could have it in 5 minutes, 500 points in my face. So what I've done is I've cut my size back and I look at these things. So when, I'm looking for points to get into the market, I have to factor that in because of the size, because of the volatility. Now, I expect a very two-sided trade today. I ultimately think that market is going still down to 1803. I think it could hit basically 1790. I don't think that, I'm not going to be surprised by that, but I won't be surprised if this thing's end up being a balancing day. All right, a couple of things we have to deal with in the overnight. I know I'm going fast, but I don't want to get to my time allotment here. All right, here's the overnight action. Just this whole column, this market profile, right? So we have to deal with these single prints right here, these single prints here. Go to Pat Tabbitt already has pointed these out. All right. So when we talk about single prints, these row of letters. Spent some time, then it doubled up. So the market tends to cover these things up. All right. All right. It tends to cover these things up. So that's why I think we're going to get a lot of volatility today. And like I said, there's been over 500,000 contracts, and that was as of so here's the chart that we use for counting the delta, right? The F5, brainchild of Charlie Cochran at Inside Edge. Okay, and by the way, so it's 11,400 negative delta we're starting the day out with. By the way, Inside Edge is the only software that has the pivots, the mom pivots, the man over market pivots. So, and we do not have a financial arrangement with them. They are they are they are powering our uh, they are powering